Hello everyone, it's Leanne and you're watching Crafty Kitty Vintage, my channel where I talk about vintage, I do crafts, I do some live sales with my friends, and I am here to bring you a haul video. It's going to be a quick one, but I'm really excited about this lot of vintage little golden books. Now when I say vintage, this time I mean really vintage. I'm talking about 40s and 50s. Little golden books have been around since the 40s, and many of these are first editions. Now, you might notice the condition. The condition is not perfect. I would say it's acceptable condition in most cases. It might be even fair condition in some other cases. First thing I do when I get a lot of little golden books, I wipe it down. Very slightly damp cloth, not very damp, slightly damp, almost dry. Because some of these already have some water damage, and we don't want to add to that. So I often buy little golden books from thrift stores. I buy them from eBay, where I get them in lots. And then what I like to do is offer the ones that I don't want to keep in my own collection up for sale in my online sales. So what I like to do, like I said, is kind of clean it up a little bit. I'll take an eraser and I'll erase any pencil marks that are there. And sometimes this will also erase other kinds of marks, like just little smudges and things like that. So I'm not going to do that too extensively here. I just want to kind of show you what I go through with my pieces. So I just try to get off anything that will come off without further damaging the book. And then what I like to do, in most cases, not all, but sometimes you have some loose things, and I like to preserve as much of this golden spine as I can. So I will take my silicone Fabri-Tac glue, and I will add a little glue to the paper that is loose. Just the tiniest bit is all you need. And then it grabs pretty quickly. So I put that down. That way, as I'm handling the book, I'm not going to further tear the pages, or the trim in this case, the golden spine. So that's what I do there. Now, good, bad, or otherwise, you know, you might have opinions about what I'm doing here. This is just how I do it. It's not that I am, you know, a trained professional at restoring books, certainly not, but I just do the logical things, I guess. So just thought I'd show and tell sort of this. Now this has a pretty significant damage there. It's probably going to be in the fair condition category. This one's from 1948. Now, do pay attention when you're looking at little golden books or books in general out in the world. You'll see probably the original copyright date, but you will also sometimes see a subsequent date if it's been the copyright has been renewed and there's been further printing. So that's not always going to guarantee that it's a first edition. If you see 1948, no other dates there. So you can see there's some soiling on the pages. You know what? All these things really add to it, in my opinion. This is my favorite page, I think, of anything I've ever seen. This just makes me happy. I don't know, something about it. I want to make copies. I want to share it with the world. Now, it's funny because little books are nostalgic for a lot of people, and when I see them, I'm trying to recall, like, does this look familiar? Have I seen this before, like from my childhood or whatever? Now, this already would have been vintage by the time I was born. But okay, so we have some crayons here. So I do take a look at everything, and here you see an A in the spine. That is an indication of a first edition. Back when they first started making little golden books, they started numbering them, and they started, of course, with A. So, and this is another indication that this is kind of an original little golden book. This cover is of that 40s era. So love that. Never have seen this one. Now there's plenty that I haven't seen, so I tend to say that a lot, but it's true. I haven't seen it. And I get excited when I see things I haven't seen before. So I'll probably do a little bit more cleaning up of this one, and it's going to stay in my own collection, which I think all of these are going to stay in my own collection. And I get a feeling too when I look through these books, because of the era and their level of wear, I get the feeling they might be all from the same like individual or household, which I find also fascinating, because you see here more of that stuff that might have been in between the two books. Again, doesn't bother me, not at all. I love to see the history of these books. And so here there's a little bit of the golden book spine. You can see too, it's like a flat compared to other ones that are more shiny, and then other ones that are more, let me see if I can find a modern one for you to see. Let's see, this one. Here's a pretty modern one, much more reflective and fancy. So that adds to the charm and the vintageness. Here we have someone who's written in the inscription, which is very common. And you'll also notice, which I have, the pages are very thick compared to the modern ones. Here we have 1950 as the copyright date. And again, it's a story I've never seen before. And I don't know if they've reprinted this, because I've never seen it. I don't know how many copies are out there, because I usually see certain, like Fuzzy Duckling and, you know, what is it, Tootle the Train. You see a lot of those out there. So that's been reprinted and redone over the years. Again, an A, so we have another first edition. Really, really cute. Now there's a few Christmas or Christmas related books in here. This is another early one. You can see the foil, while it's mostly there, it's coming away. So I do want to tack that down so it doesn't get further damaged or lost. So that's my opinion. Again, 25 cents I believe was one of the earlier prices, if not the earliest price of the little golden books. And this, one of my very favorite artists, Eloise Wilkin, illustrated this book. And it's interesting, at the time it says Eloise Wilkin has illustrated more than 30 children's books. I guarantee it's in the hundreds at this point, or over her lifespan. And this would have been relatively early, 1952. So again, I think that is some pencil. Yeah, it is. It's some pencil. So we can gently remove that. Not too firm at first, because we don't want to remove the color. So we want to go lightly and then gradually go further. And this one I'm checking, and the letter is inside a little bit deeper. So sometimes that is the case. And this one is letter E. So it's still very early. It's not the very first run of this book. But this is in beautiful shape. I don't, aside from that pencil mark that was easily removed, I don't see other writing. I don't see torn pages. Once this is fixed, it's certainly going to be in the good condition range. All right, Story of Jesus, very cute. Again, haven't seen this one. Now this one opens funny to me. The this doesn't bend as much as like the back cover does. So when it was used, you can see it kind of flops open very easily back there, but not in the front. So when it was used, it wasn't opened like the others. 1946. And this one has some kind of sepia colored pictures in it, as well as just full colored pictures. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm not on the camera. So really pretty. I love the angels, love the flowers. I love that there's a crane right there. So because I'm a crafter, I might kind of take some copies and do some crafting with some of these images. But I certainly don't want to take apart the book, especially since it's an early edition, and we know it's early because it does have a letter, and this one is H. So I thought y'all who maybe aren't quite as familiar with Little Golden Books might enjoy me sharing some of my knowledge with you. I don't have all the knowledge, of course, and I'm still learning. So Christmas carols, I have a collection, a small collection of Christmas Carol children's books. This one's definitely going in there. I love the condition of this one. It is in, I would probably say, very good condition. Really neat illustrations. Of course, that Christmas Carol music. You see how they spelled Noel? Nowell. Oh, that is so sweet right there. Oh, so sweet. That is too. Very, very sweet. Now let's take a peek here. Yes, there's a letter. The letter is L. So yeah, we knew it was early. We knew it was early. 1946. All right, another Christmas one. Now this one is in rough shape. It has tape. We don't know why. Maybe because the binding was coming apart, or maybe they preemptively were trying to reinforce it. I don't know. But again, I can live with this in my own collection. And by the way, I might end up selling some of these. I haven't decided yet. A lot of these are probably going to be in my collection at least for a little while. So we do have a little torn page right here that knocks it down out of good condition into possibly acceptable condition, where it's still readable, but there's definite structural damage. 1950, Simon & Schuster. Beautiful illustrations, really neat story, very thick pages. Let me know in the comments too if you've seen any of these before, if you had one as a child, if you have certain memories of them. Also wanted to point out that with this book and some of the others, they are so worn that it looks like they have rounded corners. Now, I think that that's the case. They started off square and then went to rounded as they got worn. But if you happen to know or have knowledge of some of the Little Golden Books having been manufactured with rounded corners, let me know, because it's so uniform almost with this book that I question whether or not it was made that way or if it turned out to be that way. There's the letter A. We know this is very first early, and we definitely have those structural issues. Now for my own collection, again, I'm gonna probably reinforce with a little bit of glue, just a touch, just to keep it intact. But I'm super happy with it, especially with the very reasonable price that I paid for this lot. Again, I've never seen this one. Don't know that they made very many. 25 cents. Our World, a beginner's introduction to geography. Did you know that there was a Little Golden Book that was a geography book? 19 55, Simon & Schuster. Our Earth is round. It's a huge round ball. It moves forever through space. Well, we hope forever. Anyway, that's my little commentary. Nothing is forever. Look at that. Volcano. Oh. Sometimes mountains spit out smoke and fire and even melted rocks. Yep. I happen to live in a state with some not so dormant volcanoes. I love the pictures, and again, really great condition. And there's the last page. Beautiful. Let's take a peek, see if there's a, yep, A. There's an A in there. Just gonna gently look at it. I'm not trying to pull too hard. So this is in great condition. This is a problem. It looks like that might come up with a little more elbow grease, that part, but not this part. But that's okay. Again, my collection, I don't have a problem with it. And we like to do things. I think this is funny. Again, we have the golden tape. It's the same very pale and not metallic paper tape. And the same back as we know the early ones come with. And unfortunately, we have this big torn page right here. The title page is torn. We do have the very pretty common written in signature, or yeah, you know what it's called. And so we're missing the copyright date. I have a feeling it's going to be in the mid-40s. And here we do have the letter A. So this is definitely, I'm not even sure if it would hit acceptable because of the completely missing page, basically, and the damage to the spine. But I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This actually might be my favorite one out of the whole lot. I mean, that's pretty cool. And again, we have like sort of sepia. It's like they skimped on every other page, maybe for cost savings. I don't know. So they skipped every other page is full color, roughly. Look at those goats. Cutie, cutie. It reminds me of my friend Sabrina. Look at those kitties. Sometimes we scratch things. Well, yes, this is true. Look at all of them scratching. So cute. So, well, that is my lot of little golden books for my own collection, for my own gaining of knowledge of little golden books in general. And yeah, I've just learned as I've gone along. I've learned by watching other videos about little golden books, and I have started to take some of the little golden books that I have and make them into junk journals and keepsake journals for friends and relatives. So I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed sharing it with you. Thank you so much. Please visit my channel again. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Sub if you like this kind of content, and please leave a comment down below if you would, please. I appreciate it, even if it's just a little emoji or a hello. I appreciate it very much. Okay, take good care. Bye.